What is up, bros and broettes? Today we are not playing Call of Duty, and I know that's a little weird, but I think I've brought you something pretty cool that I think a lot of you are going to enjoy. This is some gameplay from the multiplayer portion of the beta for Destiny. Now this is really cool. This game is really cool, and we're going to get into all the details, tell you what it's about, and then I'm going to say a little statement at the end about whether it's going to compare to how it's going to compare to Call of Duty, different things compared to Call of Duty, just because this is a Call of Duty channel, and it's interesting to compare games to Call of Duty because Call of Duty is just that landmark that everyone's come to know and love. So, what is this game? It's Destiny. It's coming out in September, I believe September 9th, and I personally enjoy the single player more than the multiplayer, but we know everyone always loves multiplayer in games. So what is there to know about this game? So how do you get to the multiplayer? Well, you actually have to level up a bit within the beta, within the game, before you can play. So what do you have to do? So you play these missions, you eventually talk to the Crucible Quartermasters. And what's the Crucible? So the way it works is when you're in the story mode, the way you get around from mission to mission is you fly there. Not literally, but in a cutscene you fly there. You choose a place to go on your map, and then you fly there in your ship. So there's three main places to go in the beta. There's Old Russia, which is on Earth. You can fly there, land there, do missions. And then there is the Tower. The Tower is like this kind of town like you'd see in any other RPG, like Fallout, Skyrim. There's vendors there. There are different places to get missions, places to get bounties, which we'll talk about later. And then with this comes an MMO kind of feel to it. There's other people in your tower. There you can see other people running around, their levels, all this stuff. You can dance, you can do all this stuff. It's really cool. And then there's the Crucible. So you can fly to the Crucible. It's like almost like its own planet. And you fight other Guardians because you are a Guardian in this game. And it works really cool to almost make you feel like the single player fits right in with the multiplayer, which I think they did really well. Even just in the beta, you can kind of get that feeling. So what type of game modes are we looking at? This one is the only one available in the beta, and it is like a domination kind of feel. But the difference is the kills you get actually count towards your overall score, which makes for this really cool feeling kind of game, because you can lose because of flags, but win because you get so many points from killing people, which also creates a little bit of a problem, because in the beta, you can play two maps online. This one is the first one. The second one is kind of on this mood, and there's vehicles on it. And it creates a lot of problems, because when you spawn in, you don't always have an answer to solve vehicles. Because the ways to solve it are either a heavy gun, which you actually have to pick up the bullets for. You can use your grenade, which takes time to recharge. Or you can use your supercharge ability, which we'll talk about in a minute again, but your supercharge ability also charges up, and it creates a lot of problems with the vehicles. I think you should almost, on those maps, spawn with heavy gun bullets, maybe. I don't know. I think they need to do a little balancing with the vehicles. I think they're a little bit overpowered, but that's just what I think. So the other game modes there's things like Team Deathmatch. It's going to be the regular game modes you see in any other Call of Duty, Halo, that kind of game. So, how does the guns and the gameplay and the skills, the abilities, all fit in from single player to multiplayer? So, as you can see, I am playing as the mage, the warlock, the person that has magic, basically. And within your class, there's also subclasses. And what I mean by this is if you go to your menu, unfortunately I'm not going to be able to show you because I haven't captured any footage of it, but if you go to your menu, you can change your abilities. There's like class trees. But the thing is there's not only one class tree. Within your class tree, you can choose another subclass, as they call it, and all your abilities change. So right now, the three abilities I have in the subclass I'm using are this grenade ability. So I can throw this grenade, it does AoE damage. I have the supercharge ability, which basically you throw this big arcane ball at people. You'll see me use it in this game. And you throw it and it does big AoE damage, kills pretty much anyone it's near, or does mad damage to them, and that's that. And then my third ability is my melee ability. You basically throw a wave of air at people and it does damage. And then you guys have probably seen other gameplays online where people have this golden gun. That is just another person's class that they're using. It's the hunter. And this creates a lot of really great variances with the online play. And it makes you want to level up your guy more so you can get these guns, because the guns you use in single player are also the guns you use in multiplayer. And you're probably thinking, whoa, 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 whoa. So if you're playing a level 60 person, their guns are going to be like, what, 10 times better than yours are at level 6? No, that's actually not what happens. What happens is they scale your gun damage and skills down to everyone else's or up to everyone else's, depending on what level, what gun you have. The only thing that I think they could run into problems with is that when you are using these guns, you can upgrade your weapons. And what I mean by this is it could be, one upgrade could be faster reload time. The upgrade I have for this weapon is 2. It does more damage, and the second is I gave me this sight and added stability to my gun. So before it was this kind of more bulky red dot sight and it would have more recoil. Now that I have this upgrade, I have this better sight and less recoil. So it kind of could create unfair depending on, there's that supercharge ability as you can just see in the gameplay. But it kind of creates this awkward balance because I don't know how good the upgrades are going to be for people who are high levels. I don't know if they're going to be the same upgrades, if they're going to be way better. We're going to have to wait to see about that because you just can't see that in the online beta because you can only play up to level 8. Which is fine. I think they did the beta fantastically. They released the exact right amount of stuff. They did really, really good. And then there's bounties. So what are bounties? When you go to the tower, you can talk to this guy and he gives you bounties. You can get them for the single player mode or the crucible mode, as we have already talked about. These bounties, what they do is they basically give you challenges. And then what you get with these challenges is you get crucible marks and you get experience and you get money. So what can you do with these things? So experience it levels you up in single player. Let me say that again. It levels you up in single player, not multiplayer, because there really is no direct levels in multiplayer. There's only crucible marks, and basically you can level up your stats a little bit, but it doesn't work directly on experience. It works on how many kills you got, how many challenges you complete. It's a total different system that I haven't delved completely into. But it works really well because what happens when you get these crucible marks, which is almost like another form of money, is you can go to these vendors in the tower and buy really, really, really cool weapons. You can buy these red weapons, blue weapons that have really, really good upgrades you can get for them, like faster reloading. I saw one that was when you kill someone, it adds ammo into your actual clip in your gun already. Really, really cool upgrades. Some that do more damage based on where you hit someone. Like, there's just all these really cool upgrades that are gonna be really interesting to see how exactly they play into the multiplayer. And I'm really excited to see what happens with multiplayer and single player, this kind of cohesion that they've created between the two when we see it further down the road, when you see those levels. That's another thing too. Another thing that I don't know, I haven't looked up, but I'm really curious to see what the top level is going to be in single player and then therefore also in multiplayer. So I'm really interested to see what that's going to be like. But how does this game compare to Call of Duty? I told you I'd look at it in those terms, and it's really interesting because it's a lot different than Call of Duty. You have a lot more health, the gun system's completely different, the class system isn't at all like Call of Duty is, which we haven't really seen in a game before. But, question is this game going to beat Call of Duty? And the answer is no. And there's two reasons why. First off, it's not a fast enough game. Second of all, it's only 30 frames per second. And third of all, I just don't see a game that's this slow comparing to Call of Duty very well. It's a different type of game for different people. It's really enjoyable, but is it going to beat Call of Duty? Probably not. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like rating. That's super greatly appreciated. If you haven't seen the two videos on the screen, check those out. And until next time, guys, peace out.